How do you keep a level head when extreme emotions are being thrown at you? I've dealt with it. So my life was very public from the moment I went pro, which was the age of 19, right? And at the same time, I was dealing with some adversity in my life and having to control my emotions. So my dad passed when I was 19, and I was having to deal with that and learn to control my emotions. I mean, I don't know I don't think I ever told this story, or maybe I did, but when I flew to China and competed in a tournament in China, came back, the next day my dad passed, the day I got back from the tournament. I was due to fly out 4 days later to compete at another tournament in New York, Comic-Con. So I flew to China, back to the UK, the day after my dad passed, and then flew from the UK, or 4 days later I flew to New York and competed at IEM New York. And I didn't tell any of my teammates, I didn't tell my manager, I just went there and competed. And we did very well. We placed second at the tournament. And yeah, the team was really happy. And after that incident, I just kind of learned to control my emotions a little bit better. And that's carried on to my career as well as a pro gamer. And I've dealt with various different things. When we have a bad game, we have so many fans and we have a bad game, and you have to somewhat explain that to the fans. And there's an element of like that. I went through my own PR training, right? I self-educated myself in PR when I was communicating with the community or the fans on why we went through a loss at such and such tournament. Or we did think about a roster change. Or we're thinking about leaving CLG and going to EG. There's all these things where I was teaching myself all these skill sets and how to communicate, how to interact with the community. And how do you keep a level head through all of that? I guess I realized that emotion, or showing your emotion in a negative light in the community, is never going to be rewarding. I've seen people destroy themselves, their careers essentially destroy themselves because they let go of their emotions in public, on social media or on Reddit, whatever. And you just have to really learn to rein that in. And it's something when I went into the business world and working at Unicorn, there was times at Unicorn I would have the worst day ever. I would be like, Rahul, I can't stand this, like what are we doing? Or Bryce, whoever's working on it, I can't stand this, and I'd be aggravated. And then I had to learn within the business environment to start controlling my emotions and how to communicate effectively. And I think it's just a self-taught skill. And I think it's a very valuable one, and one I would hope to maintain for the rest of my career.
That's a good answer.
I wrote that down beforehand.